My name's Simon. I'm in Russia for 3 weeks. It's my third time I've been here. I'm here because my wife is Russian, from Yekaterinburg, and we have a young daughter who's 2 years old. When my wife first invited me to Russia, she told me she lived in Yekaterinburg. The first thing I did was have to Google it and have a look, because I'd never heard of Ekaterinburg. I'd never heard of the Ural Mountains. I had to speak to my friends if they've ever heard of it before. When I came, when we landed, it was completely different to what I thought it would be. After I spent a week here, I realised it was hot, so it was quite a beautiful city, and the sun set quite late at night, so you could stay up late and get up early in the morning, which was because it's so light. But it was good. It's a good city to be in, I think. The first time we travelled anywhere, especially travelling back from Russia to England, Anna's, my wife's parents, said we need to sit down before we leave, and for me it was quite strange. Well, why do we need to sit down? He said, come have a seat. So we sat down. I thought we were going to talk about something. We didn't. We sat there in silence, and we stood up and they gave me a hug, and then I left. And I asked Anna, and they said, oh, it's like a tradition where everyone has to sit down before you go anywhere. And I thought, maybe, is it every time you go somewhere, maybe to the shops or something, or is it just international? But it turns out it's like good luck. It was a good luck gesture, I guess, to make sure that you're safe on your travels. When my wife and I got married in Cyprus, half of our guests were Russian, my wife's family, and half of our guests were my family. So on the wedding night, we had drinking, speeches, and then about an hour into the celebration, we had a pause of speeches, and my friend said, "Simon, your wife's missing." I said, "Okay, no problem." And he said, "No, you need to find your wife." I said, "Well, okay, she's okay. It's a small area. She'll be fine." Then I got told that it's a game or some sort of tradition in Russia to find your wife, that she gets kidnapped, and you have to prove your worth. So we played a few games. I had to describe how much I loved her. We had an apple with 100 cocktail sticks, and every time I took a cocktail stick from the apple, I had to tell one thing I loved about her. After 10 sticks, it proved difficult. There's only so many things you could say you loved. Then I had to guess her baby picture from a group of baby pictures of her friends. If I got it wrong, I had to do a dance or sing a song or do a shot of vodka. I think it was a vodka. Then after I proved my worth, I had 3 bits of rope, and at the end of the rope was my wife. So I had to choose which piece of rope was my wife. The first one was her friend. The second was my friend dressed as a woman. And then the third time, it was my wife, and there was a big cheer. And I had to kiss her, I think, and I had to say, Goika. So it was a good day. It was good for my friends. They'd never seen anything like that before. I had never seen anything like that. So it was amazing. Yeah. If my friends visited Yekaterinburg, I would show them the food, the different foods. It's very basic and fresh. I'd show them the sushi, because in England the sushi is very expensive, but here it's delicious. It's like a speciality here. It's amazing. I would also show them the bars and the clubs. I'd show them the city centre, the churches, because the churches look very Russian. So obviously because they are Russian. They look amazing. The Church of the Blood, I think it's really pretty. One story which stands out when I came to Russia the first time is my wife and I, who was then my fiance, we travelled to Altai in Siberia. Our train got delayed. We missed our connecting train in Bisk, a small village town in about 25 hours away from here. Because we missed our train, we had to wait maybe 10 hours for another train. It was snowing, it was very cold, and we had nowhere to stay. However, there was one guy who got off the same train. He asked us what was happening, what was going on, and we told him we've missed our train, we have nowhere to stay. And he very kindly invited us to stay in his flat. At first I was a bit apprehensive, but he seemed nice, so he let us stay in his flat. We went there, stayed in his spare bedroom, and in the morning he drove us to the train station. We caught a train, and for me that was pretty amazing, because in England I don't think that would have happened to a stranger. Maybe because I'm foreign, but I do think he knew I was foreign. He was speaking to Anna in Russian, so it was pretty special. I'll always remember him and Russia for that reason. The food I like in Russia, probably borscht. I do like borscht. I like it better when I'm in Russia than when my wife cooks it in England. I like shashlik because it's easy, and I think it's tasty, very tasty. I like all the salads. There's one salad, herring in a fur hood. Is that right? But it's not my favourite, and we have it in New Year's. I'll have a little bit, and then I kindly put it back in the fridge. I've learned a lot of Russian words, mainly because my wife teaches me them and my daughter teaches me them. Привет, здравствуйте, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know my first phrase was when I was on the metro, and I learnt Осторожно, двери закрываются. I think that's how you say it. I know Kliège. I know some animals, like собака, киса, удочка. Another Russian phrase I know is я не говорю по-русски. I think this is important when I'm in Russia.